Kathy from Eclectic Images, and today we're going to road test the Unicolour Markers with some help, because we do have our 1-year-old now grandson Grayson, who's actually trying to learn to walk by hanging onto the camera tripod and crawling through the cables and things. So if we're a little bit ratty today, it's because we've got this little helper. Hello, Grayson. Right, I have given him some stickles and some pencils to play with, but we'll just see how we go, see if that can distract him for a while. Okay, so we're going to be talking about these Unicolour markers. And it's really just going to keep Matthew on his toes going between cameras and child. But let's concentrate now on markers. These markers are just gorgeous. So they're a brush watercolour marker. So any watercolour effects you want to do, you can do with these. And they just paint with beautifully. There's 27 markers in the set, and I've done a colour swatch so you can see the most beautiful colours and such a good range. Now they've got the brush end. I'll get out one of the colours I'm going to use today. So it's not a pen nib, it's a brush end, which means it's beautiful for doing calligraphy and lettering as well as for all of your colouring. You can colour directly onto your stamps and then stamp them, or you can do what we're going to do today and do more watercolour effects with them. Similar very much to the Pentel brush markers that we've had, and if you've been collecting the Pentel brush markers, don't worry, because you can use the two together. They're both a watercolour marker, and I've done a swatch of the Pentel one so we can compare, and you'll be able to see the colours there's a couple that are similar, but there's a lot that are different, which means it actually just builds out the set. Either one, the other set will build out the range of colours that you have. So they're going to work really well together. The Pentel ones are a bigger nib, which gives you bigger size lettering and easier colouring for bigger areas. Things like doing the black on the galaxy skies, I would still choose to do with the black out of this rather than the finer nib, but there'll be good places for using both. So don't worry if you've already started collecting the one. Now, the other thing that we're going to be doing is working with, I've printed off some cards here using our new Magnolia Blooms set. So this is the same as our Magnolia collage flowers, but I'm now doing them in a set, and this will be available soon. They're now going to be in a set with all the blossoms and the leaves and the bits separate. So that means that you can stamp them any way you want, and you don't have the big collage words. We've got a small magnolia word, but not the big collage words through the flowers. And I think people are going to find this a lot more versatile. So let's grab one of these and do some colouring. So the first one, I'm going to grab one of the pink markers as well. The first way we're going to colour is by putting some colours onto an acrylic block. Just move those out of the way. So I've got an acrylic block here on my desk. So we're just going to colour some of the pink onto our block, and some of this beautiful deep wine colour. And then we can use, and I'm just going to get standing by ready, some of the mica colour in Bling. And I'm trying not to chuckle as Matthew bolts after Grayson on the floor. Just get a little bit of Bling. So we can mix that with them as well and add some extra shine. Okay. So using my water brush, now the set does come with a fine water brush, so I'll be working with my medium and the fine brush from the set. So I'll use the medium to pick up the pink, and we're going to wash that out across the petal so we get it going lighter towards the end. Then come in with some of the wine colour, place it in there, and then I can just go back to my first brush marker and just go between the two until I get a really nice blend of the two colours. So this is going to give you a really soft blend of colours. If you've got an area where you want the petal to be stronger, we can just do it with the darker shade. Now the other thing is, we can also use something like the Colour Blast metallic shimmer pen, and we could actually add a layer of shimmer over that, or if we wanted to, we could actually pick up some colour. Let's put on the lighter pink with the shimmer brush, and it's adding the shimmer as you go. And then I can still come in with my fine brush, pick up some of the wine colour and add that in as well. We've got a little bit too much water flowing on that one. Yep, Grayson's having his input. and blend the two, or we could use our water brush to blend those. Even though we've already put the sparkle on, that would be fine. Now the other way, we can mix it, as I said, with the, if we want more sparkle, we can mix it with the bling or one of the either a Perfect Pearl or the Colour Blast mica powders, and we can mix the two together. I'm just going to pop a bit more pink on my block, because I've used all that. So let's pick up some of, now what I'm using now is the bling from the Colour Blast, which is a really good gold. And then we'll just mix that in with our pink. Just take off a water droplet there where we've got a little bit too much water happening. Let's grab a bit of paper towel. I've given it too much of a squeeze to get it started this morning, and now we've got a little bit too much enthusiasm. Okay, so let's grab ourselves another petal, and we're going to colour. Now you will notice that because I've gone with gold, it's changed the hue of the pink marker and made it more a peachy colour. That is fine. Grab some of the wine. And again, we can just use our water brush just to go between them. If we wanted a bit more gold, pick up a bit more of the bling there. If you wanted the colour to stay very true, you would go with the Perfect Pearls Pearl or the bling, the Colour Blast mica colour in Snow White. Those are the two that give you a clear shimmer. Okay, so that's just painting from the acrylic block, and that's really delicate and very easy to blend the colours. Our next flower, we're going to do colouring some petals with, I might do it on this other smaller one. We're going to do it with colouring mainly with the markers and just using water brush just to blend. So I'll apply the pink first, and I'm going to then, I don't want the pink to be strong all the way, so I can use my water brush just to blend that. I have found though that if I don't blend the whole way, I will get a line where it finishes. So I'll clean my brush and just push a bit of water back into that. I don't want the pink going all the way, but I want that edge really soft. So I've just got to push a bit of water back so I don't get a line. But now I'll get the wine coloured marker, and for this it's easier to have the lids off both. And we're just going to pop that in at the base there. And then I'll come back in with the pink and blend directly with the markers. This means though that you're picking up a bit of colour on the end of the marker. Where am I in the shot so I can show? I'm picking up a bit of the wine colour, so I'll just wipe it out on my scratch pad and then come in again with the straight pink. Now if I'm getting too much strong colour, that's when I'll shift to the water brush and just keep blending out until I've got a really nice soft transition between all those colours. So by doing it that way and blending with the markers, we get a really vivid look. So this is how to create such different looks with the same product. So let's do another one of those. So put on some pink, put on some of the wine, blend with the pink, and then blend out with our water brush. So really strong, vivid tones. Once more, put on some pink. Now I don't have to put the pink the whole way. I can just use the wine just to fill in that deep area. Now, if I'm getting too much wine colour on my brush, clean it out on the scratch pad so that I can then come in with a clean pink brush so that we're getting the true pink colour. And then again with my water brush. See how easy the colours soften and blend out with the water brush? Really easy to use. And as I said, this is you'll find the Pentel ones that we've got as well, just blend out with water just as easy. So you're going to be able to mix and match them together. So that is just stunning colour. And of course, the other thing that you can do is more of your traditional watercolour, and I'm just going to use the wine colour for this. Pop on some colour, move it out to where we want it. Now this would work better if I had been able to emboss this image. I'm just going to have to be careful to try and stay within the lines. Now I'm going to wet the petal, bring the water down and meet it to that wine colour and just let it bleed into it. Now I'm going to work the water down into the texture part a bit. Marker. And then I'm going to work down again from the tip of the petal. So I'm looking, yes, I want a smooshy watercolour effect, but I'm still looking to try and make it blend nice and evenly, or nice and gently, right up to the end of that petal. But we are getting more of a random effect there. Let's do another one like that. So pop in some of the wine colour, and this time I'm going to bring it up the edges of the petal a bit and get a different look that way. And we're just going to feather it out. So go, wet the petal and then run the water into where the marker is. And try and not play too much with that area, but I'm just going to play with this area and soften that out. So let's drag that up. If you need to, if you're getting lines, you may need to push a bit more water back into the colours until you get some really good flowage. How beautiful is that? So just like working with watercolour paints, you can get them to flow and blend with the water. Before it's completely dry, I'm just going to have a look and see whether I'm really happy with that blending. And I'm now happier with that. If you're getting a bit of a line here, we do need to put a bit of water over that edge as well. And just let that do its thing. If I'm now, because I've done so much blending, picking up too much water on it, I can always come in with my paper towel, same as we do with other watercolour effects, and just take off a little bit of water there, just so that it's not pooling too much. So that's just fantastic. Now the other thing that we can do, let's grab a brownie tone. No, that's a red. Let me find a brownie tone. We can also do more of our background shading with it. So I'm going to switch now to the filbert water brush. So this is the broader one. So we can use either the broad or the filbert. And we can just go around the edge of our petals. So just do a small bit at a time. Grab some water and push it in just to give us a lovely shadow. Clean my brush and just make sure I've got clean, that I've blended out to nothing. Pop a little bit more in. Push that water into it. Push it back on itself if you want less colour showing. Of course, if you wanted to leave it just as a line shadow, you could. Just do a very fine line around it and just leave it as a shadow that way. I tend to like to smoosh mine out, but that doesn't mean that's the only way to do it. So yeah, we could leave it just as a bit of a line, or we can smoosh it out. Let's try if we can get a bit of both there. Fade that off into nothing. Or of course you could, now let's try a bit around the leaf here so that I'm working away from any other area. We could pop our line of colour on and then use our, just going to tease it a little bit with the water brush, and then use our spritzer to actually spritz away from the rest of the flower, spritz in the direction we want that to travel. Let's get a bit more distance and watch getting far more splash of colour happening. Now, that's going to give you some blobs, so let's just tone that back a little bit. And if some gets on your petals, I would do this sort of effect before I coloured the petals. So we can then just take any water out of the petals and then colour them in later. Now the other thing, of course, we can do is we can do our brush lettering with them. So if we had either just freehand, or if you're wanting to do a little bit of faux calligraphy, we could draw some letters on and then fill it out with the pen. Or we can totally just, now I'm looking around for colours and things, just going to grab a stamp. Grab our wish stamp out of the brush set, and I'm going to grab a very soft Catherine Pooler ink, which I've got just here. Let's grab the It's a Girl, which is a really soft pink. And I do need an acrylic block, which I've got handy as well. So I'll ink up, now I want this really, really soft. So ink up Wish with the pink. I'm going to stamp it once on my scrap and then stamp it on the card. So that gives me just a bit of a guideline to follow. And now can I letter upside down so that you can see exactly what I'm doing? Challenge accepted. I might have to do the letters upside down though. So when you do an upstroke, you would do it really softly with barely touching the paper. As you start to round the curve, you start to put some pressure on, and then lift up again when you're reaching the next curve. And you can do some beautiful brush lettering using our stamps as a guide. So it's soft as you're going up. So I'm using almost no pressure. Start to put some more pressure on as I get to the curve. Let the brush spread out and do its job, and then lift up again. So you can see that if we wanted to do some multicoloured lettering, we could actually start off with the wine here. So really light, really soft with the pressure, increase, and now we can come in with our pink and blend those together and get some two-toned looks happening with our lettering. Let's try that again. We'll do some light there, coming in with more pressure, and do light pressure here, increase and run it into our pink. And then we could either use the pink to blend it, or we could just use a little touch of water brush just where that blend meets. And so you can create some beautiful multicoloured lettering. It's just a matter of getting used to light pressure and then heavier pressure. And then light. This is me working totally backwards. I'm going to have to go this way, so I can't work backwards. Light and then heavier. And then light and then heavier. And that just creates that lovely brush calligraphy. So very versatile pens, and you'll find if you're doing some lettering that the finer nibs on these ones do make life quite easy. But if you're wanting to do bigger lettering, of course the bigger nibs on the Pentel brush markers will help there. But these will give you quite a bit of width, you know, as I'll just show on the scratch pad. You know, you can really go quite soft and then quite wide and quite soft again with them. So if you're wanting to practice some lettering and stuff, just practice really soft, and don't be too nervous about it. If you're going over a stamped image, if you go over the edge a bit, it doesn't matter. It's just going to look like that's your lettering. So I think the hardest thing is to do it slowly, is to actually try and do it too hard. Grayson's just crashed into a chair and knocked off the headsets. But I think we're good to keep going. Good to keep going. Okay, so what I'm saying is, yeah, don't be too nervous, because it's when you're nervous and you're trying really hard to do a line that you'll end up shaking. So try and just let it flow. Have a bit of a practice on scrap first. Practice going softer and lighter and softer and lighter. Practice some curves. Just do S shapes with pressure on, pressure off, and that'll get you confidence in getting those lines. And brush calligraphy, the modern style of calligraphy, is so relaxed compared with traditional calligraphy that if your lines aren't parallel and one letter's lower and another one's higher, that's all part of the look of modern calligraphy. So be relaxed with your pens and have some fun with them. But if you're a bit nervous, certainly our brush words, and we've currently got wish, believe and dreams in those brush words, and I'm looking at releasing at the same time as the Magnolia Blooms, hopefully another couple of word sets as well. So they're on the way soon. So wonderful fun. Hope you're going to enjoy having a play with these. We've got them on the website, and as well as the shimmer markers and our aqua wash brushes. So hopefully you're going to have some great fun with these Unicolour brush markers. Yay! And don't forget, please subscribe to our channel so that you get updates when we post up new stuff. And I'll put the list of products below, and you can follow the links there to the website. Okay, hope to see you again soon for some more Crafting with Kathy and Grayson.